Hey YouTube, it's me, Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka what kind of snatch you want, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title of the thumbnail on the video, this is my AEW Dynamite review on highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more rest of content. Go check out my WWE Raw review on highlights, and also go check out my NXT review on highlights. So that's all I got to say from here. So without further ado, let's get started. But make sure you guys follow all my socials down below in the description. Now, AEW Dynamite was a very good show, and I give that show a 7 out of 10. AEW is live from Phoenix, Arizona. Alright, it says AEW Dynamite kicks off, and we see clips of earlier today. A promo from Samoa Joe where he talks calls Adam Page a fool. He says he has to prepare for their trios title match, but he put out a bounty and a vengeful hunter will claim his prize, and comes Brian Keith. Alright, so we get the first match. So we get Darby Allin versus Pac. And this match right here, I ain't gonna lie to you, this was a good match in my opinion. Alright, as Pac is at ringside, Darby Allin lands a suicide dive on Pac, falls over the barricade and into the fence. Darby Allin with right hands in a headlock. He grabs Pac and grinds his face into the railing. Darby Allin grabs Pac by the hair and he begins walking up the stairs towards the top section of the arena. Pac with a right hand, but Darby Allin drops a drop kick. Darby Allin climbs one of the railings and he lands the coffin drop onto Pac. Darby Allin gets up and Pac begins walking down the stairs, and he begins to run around the ring. Darby Allin runs towards Pac, but Pac moves out of the way, and Darby Allin hits the barricade. Pac with a release German suplex on the outside of the ring. Pac moves the ring steps and grabs Darby Allin. He belly to back suplex Darby Allin onto the ring steps. Pac throws Darby Allin into the ring. The bell rings and we are underway. Pac with a clothesline onto Darby Allin. He goes for the cover, but Darby Allin kicks out. Pac slingshots Darby Allin face first onto the second rope. He goes for the cover, but Darby Allin kicks out. Pac throws Darby Allin to the ropes and he lands a backdrop. Pac with a German suplex and he goes for the cover, but Darby Allin kicks out. So we go to commercial break. Excuse me. Back from commercial, Darby Allin with a drop kick off the top rope. Darby Allin to the ropes and he lands a coffin splash off the second rope. Darby Allin with a drop kick. He runs towards Pac, but Pac with a belly to belly and Darby Allin hits the turnbuckle. Pac plays Darby Allin on the top rope and he lands a belly to belly. Pac lifts Darby Allin up and he lands a razor's edge, throwing Darby Allin over the top onto the attached ring ramp. The referee counts to 9, but Darby Allin gets back in the ring. Pac is sitting on the top rope and he drops but hurts his ankle. Darby Allin with right hand and onto Pac and onto his ankle. Pac rolls to the outside of the ring, and Darby Allin climbs the top rope, landing a coffin drop on Pac. Darby Allin places Pac on the ring apron. Darby Allin climbs the top rope and lands a coffin drop. Pac gets back into the ring, but Darby Allin with a splash in the corner. Darby Allin goes for another splash, but Pac pulls the referee in front of him, and Darby Allin hits the referee. Darby Allin looks at the referee, and Pac grabs Darby Allin, but Darby Allin drops Pac. Darby Allin with the Scorpion Deathlock, and Pac taps out. But in comes Real Yuta with a steel chair, but Darby Allin kicks him and lands a Scorpion Death Drop onto the chair. Darby Allin with a Scorpion Death Drop onto Pac. Darby Allin places Pac's ankle in between the chair and he climbs the second rope, landing a coffin drop onto Pac's ankle. Darby Allin throws the chair to the outside and gets Pac in a Scorpion Deathlock. Pac taps out and the referee calls for the bell. The winner of the match, Darby Allin. This was a very good match between Darby Allin and Pac. Alright, so we go to commercial break. So we get Brian Keith versus Hangman Adam Page. And this match right here, I'm also say this was a solid match. What it was. Excuse me. Big Bill is on the ring apron as the bell rings, and we are underway. Paige with a running big boot onto the face. Paige gets Keith in the corner as gets Brian Keith in the corner and hits him with the right hands. Brian Keith rolls onto the ring apron, but Paige with a kick, and Keith falls to the outside of the ring. Paige to the outside, but he is distracted by Big Bill. Brian Keith with a right hand, but Paige pushes him into the barricade. He throws Keith back into the ring, and Paige with chops to the chest. Paige with an elbow to the face. Big Bill distracts Paige, and Brian Keith with a headbutt. Keith with a right hand. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Brian Keith with a drop toe hold followed by an exploder. He goes for the cover, but Paige kicks out. Keith runs towards Paige, but Paige with a follow-away slam. Paige with a clothesline, and he goes for the cover, but Keith kicks out. Paige goes for another clothesline, but Keith with a belly to belly suplex. Brian Keith goes for a cover, but Paige kicks out. Brian Keith grabs Paige, but Paige with a clothesline. Paige gets on the ring apron, but Big Bill is on the outside. He grabs Paige, but Paige kicks him away. The referee is distracted, and now comes Swerve Strickland. He chokes Big Bill with a chain. Paige with a buckshot lariat, he goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Hangman Adam Page. This was a solid match for what it was, but let me take a sip of my water. Swerve Strickland gets in the ring. After the match, he tells Brian Keith to go collect another bounty. He tells Samoa Joe that he is going to take everything from him. Swerve Strickland tells MJF that if he wins tonight, it means he will have lost because they will be coming after him. And this is 2026. He has a New Year resolution. It has been a while since he has had the AEW World Championship around his waist, and this is what the fans want. He says they will make this who house, and the fans says Swerve's house. Kenny Omega music hits, and now he comes. He says he doesn't mean to speak for anyone else in the ring, but he has something to prove, and that is when they all call him the god of professional wrestling. I meant something, and if they still believe, he still believes. He understands that winning the belt, you can't just be in EVP, snap your fingers and make it happen. He says he has to win a few matches first, and whether it be friend or foe, he's going for that belt. Kenny Omega looks at Paige, and Paige tells him that there are three of them who want that championship, and unfortunately, this is not a team effort. If they cross paths on the way to the championship, may the best man win. Paige and Kenny Omega shake hands as Paige music hits. Swerve Strickland gets in Kenny Omega's face. Paige and Swerve Strickland head to the back. Out comes the Don Callis family. I'm so sick and tired of Don Callis family. He says he has something important to say. He tells Kenny Omega that he has always been a big fan. He has always been a big fan of MJF, but he has to question his logic, even thinking of even associated with a scumbag like Kenny Omega. But now Kenny Omega is back and he wants the title. He has to win some matches. He tells Kenny Omega if he wants to wrestle, how about he wrestle against the man who broke a bitch leg, and the man who sent Kenny Omega to the hospital, to wrestle the walking weapon Josh Alexander. Kenny Omega tells him that he can barely hear him over the fans, but what it sounds like is that Don Callis is issued a challenge. He tells Josh Alexander that he has a little bit of time tonight. Don Callis stops Josh Alexander and the fans boo. Don Callis says that they have known each other for many years and Kenny Omega forgot how their relationship works. Kenny Omega does what Daddy says. Daddy decides when matches happen. He says Kenny Omega will get Josh Alexander but next week on Dynamite because what he says goes. Don Callis and the Don Callis family walks to the back. Kenny Omega says they heard it here first. It will have to be next week, but today was phase one of him becoming the new AEW World Champion. Brody King is backstage with Renee Paquette, but in comes Jonathan Cruz. Brody King tells him he will see him in the ring. But that was a good promo by Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, and Hangman Adam Page. But that segment I like was Kenny Omega. That was a good segment by Kenny Omega. Everybody ate that segment. Alright, so we go to commercial break. So we get Brody King versus Jonathan Cruz squash match. Back from commercial, Jonathan Cruz is thrown into the ring by Brody King. He picks Jonathan Cruz up and lands a Gonzo bomb. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Brody King. This was a squash match for what it was. We see a video package for MJF against Bandido. 4-way tornado tag team match. Winners earn a world tag team title match. The Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson versus Gates of Inagi, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan. And Jespy versus Jespy, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight versus Jake Doyle, and Mark Davis. This was a fun fatal 4-way tornado tag team match. The Young Bucks get in the ring and they land a suicide dive on Davis and Doyle. Jet Speed with a suicide dive on GOA. Jet Speed and the Young Bucks are in the ring and both teams with fights hands. In comes GOA, Dale and Davis. All four teams fight in the ring with GOA, Doyle, and Mark Davis left standing. Both teams are face to face, but Jet Speed climbs the top rope and lands a drop kick. In comes the Young Bucks. Doyle and Davis are thrown to the outside of the ring. Jet Speed and the Young Bucks jump to the outside of the ring. The Young Bucks and Jet Speed throw both teams back into the ring. Doyle and Davis double team. Doyle and Davis double powerbomb Jet Speed and the Young Bucks. GOA with a double clothesline to the outside of the ring. The Toa Leona gets on the second rope and lands a moonsault. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, the Young Bucks are standing in the ring, but in comes Jet Speed and GOA. All four teams get in the ring. Jet Speed and the Young Bucks with super kicks. Both teams climb the top rope and land splashes onto GOA. Doyle and Davis, the Young Bucks and Jet Speed with kicks to the ring, and all four men are down. In comes GOA and they go for the cover on Matt Jackson, but Kevin Knight breaks it up. GOA throws Jet Speed to the outside of the ring. Toa Leona lifts the Young Bucks onto his shoulders, but Jet Speed gets on the top rope. He lands the double knees onto the Young Bucks. Kevin Knight with a splash onto Leona. He goes for the cover, but Toa Khan breaks it up. Jet Speed with a super kick onto Khan. The Young Bucks with double super kicks onto everyone. Jet Speed gets in the ring and they exchange near falls. Ricochet runs to the outside and pulls the referee to the outside of the ring. Jack Perry runs to the outside and he lands a crossbody onto Ricochet. As both men fight off, Jet Speedball on the second rope. He jumps, but Doyle catches him and he throws Speedball onto GOA and the Young Bucks on the outside of the ring. Davis with a power drop onto Kevin Knight. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Jack Doyle and Mark Davis. This was a fun fatal 4-way tornado tag team match. Outcomes FTR. After the match, they get in the ring and they fight with Doyle and Mark Davis. Out comes security to break it up as both teams continues to fight. Alright, let's continue. So we go to commercial break. So we get a trios match. Bays are Ralph, Will and Nightingale, Harley Cameron, and Chris Statlander versus the Triangle of Madness, Dakala, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. This trios match was okay match for what it was. It wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? It was just okay for what it was. The bell rings, we are underway. Dakala and Chris Statlander start the match. Julia Hart is tagging, but Chris Statlander with a takedown. She grabs Julia Hart, but Julia Hart with a headlock. She throws Julia Hart to the ropes, and Chris Statlander with a back suplex. Harley Cameron is tagging. Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander double team Julia Hart. Harley Cameron goes for the cover, but Julia Hart kicks out. Harley Cameron to the ropes, and she lands a sling blade. She goes for the cover, but Julia Hart kicks out. Will Nightingale is tagging, and Will Nightingale with a body slam. Will Nightingale goes to the cover, but Julia Hart kicks out. She grabs Julia Hart, but Julia Hart with her right hand. Sky Blue is tagging. Sky Blue with a forearm to the face. She runs towards Will Nightingale, but Will Nightingale with a kick to the side of the head. She grabs Sky Blue, but Sky Blue gets onto Will Nightingale's back. Will Nightingale slams her onto the mat, and Chris Statlander is tagging. Chris Statlander goes for the cover, but Sky Blue kicks out. Harley Cameron is tagging, but Sky Blue with a drop toe hold. She goes for the cover, but Harley Cameron kicks out. So we go to commercial break. The trios match, Babes Are Wrath, Will Nightingale, Harley Cameron, and Chris Statlander versus Triangle of Madness, Dakala, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. Back from commercial, Harley Cameron and Dakala are in the ring. Chris Statlander is tagging, and she claims Dakala onto the mat. Julia Hart gets in the ring, but Chris Statlander with a backbreaker. In comes Sky Blue, but she throws her into the corner. Chris Statlander with a running knee onto Dakala. She goes for the cover, but Sky Blue breaks it up. In comes Julia Hart, but Chris Statlander takes them both down. She grabs Sky Blue, but Sky Blue with a DDT. Will Nightingale with a spine buster onto Sky Blue. The collar with a kick to the side of the head. Harley Cameron with a backstabber onto the collar. Harley Cameron is tagging. Harley Cameron tags Will Nightingale, and they double team the collar. Will Nightingale goes for the cover, but Julia Hart breaks it up. Sky Blue slams Harley Cameron onto the mat. Chris Statlander takes Julia Hart and Sky Blue down. The collar takes Chris Statlander down. Will Nightingale with a close on to the collar. Will Nightingale lifts her up, but the collar takes her down. Chris Statlander is tagging. The collar with a spear onto Chris Statlander. The collar with a stump. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. So the winner of the match, Triangle of Madness. This match was okay for what it was. If you are a champion, why our champions are taking a pinfall? I do not like that. Or they mean tap out submission. I do not like that either. You're supposed to make your champions look strong, not weak. And that's all I gotta say. But Chris Statlander took the pinfall. Alright. When Impact Red is backstage with Jetsby, but in comes Swerve Strickland. He tells Bayley that they will have to wrestle one day, and he tells Kevin Knight that his time is coming. Swerve Strickland walks away, and in comes Hangman Page. He tells them that they might have lost tonight, but this Saturday he will take the trios down, tag team titles with Jetsby. So we go to commercial break. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get the AEW World Championship match, MJF versus Bandido. This was the match of the night. This match was fantastic. The bell rings, we are underway. Bandido rolls MJF, but MJF kicks out. MJF with a headlock and MJF to the ropes. He lands a shoulder tackle. Bandido to the ropes and he lands a hurricanrana. Both men are face to face and MJF with a kick with a rake to the eye. He grabs Bandido, but Bandido lifts him up and gorilla press MJF. Bandido to the ropes, but MJF rolls to the outside of the ring. Bandido with a suicide dive. Bandido throws MJF back into the ring. Bandido climbs the top rope, but MJF rolls onto the ring apron. Bandido grabs MJF, but MJF slams Bandido's left arm onto the top rope. MJF gets back in the ring, and he gets Bandido in the wrist lock. MJF with a modified jump, pump handle slam. He goes for the cover, but Bandido kicks out. He grabs Bandido, but Bandido with a kick to the face. Bandido climbs the top rope, but MJF trips him up and throws him onto the mat. MJF throws Bandido to the ropes, but Bandido rolls him into a cover, but MJF kicks out. MJF with a kick to the arm, followed by a shoulder breaker. He throws Bandido into the corner. MJF goes for the cover, but Bandido kicks out. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, MJF with 2 suplexes and he goes for the third. But Bandido with the kick, MJF with the right hand, and Bandido with the right hand. MJF bless Bandido hand and it goes for a suplex, but Bandido lifts MJF up and he lands a vertical suplex. Bandido with a tornado DDT, followed by a gorilla press slam. He runs towards MJF, but MJF with an elbow to the face. He runs towards Bandido, but Bandido throws him back to the ring, or to the outside. To the outside of the ring. Bandido with a senton over the top rope. Bandido throws MJF back into the ring, but MJF rolls to the outside. Bandido runs to the ropes, but MJF jumps over. MJF jumps over the barricade. Bandido climbs the top rope and he lands a crossbody over the barricade and onto MJF. Bandido throws MJF over the barricade and back into the ring. Bandido runs towards MJF, but MJF with an arm breaker. Bandido with a kick to the face. He climbs the top rope and he lands a corkscrew splash. He goes for the cover, but MJF kicks out. Bandido with a reverse hurricane, followed by code red. He goes for the cover, but MJF kicks out. Bandido grabs MJF, but MJF holds onto the ropes. Bandido hurts his arm. MJF with a big boot, and he throws Bandido onto the ring. MJF with a cutter into the ring. He goes for the cover. But MJF kicks out. Alright. Bandido gets on the ring apron, and Bandido with a kick to the side of the head. Bandido climbs the top rope and he lands a shooting star press. He goes for the cover, but MJF kicks out. Bandido with a sunset flip cover, but MJF reverses it. Bandido kicks out, and both men with reversals. Bandido with the gun wrench, and he lands a knee to the face. Bandido with a 21 plus. He doesn't keep the bridge covered. Bandido goes over the cover, and after several seconds, but MJF kicks out. MJF with the saw of the earth armbar, but Bandido is worried about to grab the ropes. But MJF pulls him back. MJF with the libel lock on Bandido and pass out. the winner of the match is still your AEW World Champion, MJF. This was the match of the night. I love this main event match. Alright, it says after the match, MJF grabs a microphone and he says that when Bandido said he was going to be able to be AEW champion, he laughs. But after wrestling him, Bandido was right. MJF says as much as it plans him to say this, Bandido with that Bandido. It says Bandido would be world champion one day in AEW, which unfortunately it means he has to do this. MJF hits Bandido with the championship and he grabs Bandido's mask, but Brody King runs to the ring and MJF leaves the ring. Running to the back, Brody King and Bandido stands in the ring as AEW Dynamite goes off the air. Alright. Let me give my opinion what I think about AEW Dynamite. Alright. And I'm gonna be honest 1000%. Alright. Now AEW Dynamite was a very good show, and I give that show a 7 out of 10. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I'm doing, on the channel, because I'm on the road to 12K. So help me get to 12K subscribers before March. But anyway, I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. And I will see you guys tomorrow live on Twitch for some Fortnite. So make sure you guys be there on my live stream on Twitch tomorrow for some Fortnite, and we about to have some fun. But anyway, I will see you guys tonight on my upcoming world premiere of my AEW Dynamite review and highlights at around 5 o'clock a.m. So make sure you guys like the video, share the video, and tell your friends that I'm on the road to 12K, because I'm sick and tired of being stuck as the same subscribers all the time. And I need more, and I deserve way more subscribers, because I've been putting a lot of work on my channel and into my content. So it is what it is. But I'll see you all there at my upcoming world premiere for my AEW Dynamite review and highlights at around 5 o'clock a.m. right here on my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go check out my WWE NXT review and highlights. Go check out my WWE Raw review and highlights, and go check out my other video that I did on the channel. And that's all I gotta say. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of AEW Dynamite, because to me it was a very good show for what it was, and I give that show a 7 out of 10. So, but like I said, I've been grinding on YouTube, man, by posting videos and world premieres. Then I post like YouTube shorts as well too, and that's all I gotta say from here. But I really want to thank God so much for all the love and support that I've been getting on YouTube. And I also want to say shout out to Showstopper TV for going live on Twitch, man. He's the real MVP, man. His live stream was lit, man. And that's all I gotta say. And I love watching content creators support each other within the Twitch community and with the YouTube community as well too. So help me get to 12K subscribers before March, and I need a lot, and I need all my real supporters to help me out here. And that's all I gotta say. But have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.